Georgia State men's and women's basketball teams return to their winning ways in a behind-the-scenes look at the GSU Spirit Squad. Needless to say, Primetime Sports starts now. Good day to you. I'm David Schiele, and we begin with Georgia State football. They have 18 new players who officially joined the team this Wednesday on National Signing Day. Primetime Sports reporter Rashad Milligan has more details.
Okay, so we're here inside the GSU Sports Arena for tonight's Blue-Out game. On Wednesday, we had the official announcement of the 2016 signing day class. According to 24/7 Sports rankings, this year's class is a little bit weaker than last year's, but have no fear, because the top recruit is three-star safety out of the powerhouse Norcross High School, Kendrick Grady. And of course, the top transfer recruit is Connor Manning, as mentioned before on Primetime Sports. As far as the Trent Miles situation goes, well, Miles, it looks like the university loves him, at least to the public eye. He's the image of the program, and it looks like he's in their short-term plans, at least. For Primetime Sports inside of the GSU Sports Arena, I'm Rashad Milligan. Back to you. Play ball.
Thanks, Rashad. Even though it's a little bit cold outside, there remains a group of people who consistently go to the beach, and that's Georgia State's beach volleyball team. Reporter Caleb Johnson has the inside scoop on how they are preparing for their upcoming season.
Primetime looks to give you information on the sports that you are familiar with, such as football, baseball, and basketball, but also on the ones that you might not be as familiar with, such as beach volleyball. This week I was able to get some FaceTime with the girls out at the volleyball complex and give you an update of what's going on. In just 3 years since its inception, the beach volleyball team has already jumped off to an outstanding start. Last year, the ladies finished the regular season with an 18 wins and 1 loss record that propelled them all the way into the AVCA National Championships. The team lost only 1 senior this past year and looks to take last year's success into the present.
Our workouts are crazy. Everybody's pushing each other. It's very competitive in practice. Everybody wants to improve and to improve their teammates. So I think that's like a really big asset.
With the season only 1 month away, the team has begun practice in their very unique element. The complex sits in the heart of downtown Atlanta, which also includes passing MARTA trains mere feet away from the complex. The conditions might not fit what most would think about beach volleyball, but that does not slow these girls down at all. Beach volleyball at GSU is now part of a brand new conference, the Coastal Collegiate Sports Association. Coach Beth Van Fleet is adamant that this team is going places.
We are very, very excited that we get to be one of the inaugural members of the CCSA. We feel that it's a great step towards really bringing a lot of attention and legitimacy to this sport on the NCAA level. We have 8 schools that are in the CCSA. It's very much the powerhouse schools on the East Coast that aren't already in a conference. So the ACC is represented by Florida State. The SEC is represented by South Carolina and LSU. Conference USA is represented by UAB, FIU, and FAU. We are in it representing the Sun Belt, and then Tulane is in it as well. Georgia State University was one of the initial schools that stood up and said, yes, this sport needs to be adopted at the NCAA level. So with that, our administration from day one has put the resources into building this program. So they built this amazing facility for us. We are fully funded as far as scholarships go. And we've had a beach staff that's only for beach for the last 3 years. And so with those 3 things in place, the administration has been incredibly helpful.
Senior Milani Pickering had nothing but positive words to say when speaking on her and the team.
Personally, I think that I bring in a lot of control, like ball control, and just motivation for the team, and I lead by example. I think that we have a lot of grit and hard work ethic. We definitely come out here when it's 20 degrees outside and still working out, even when it's snowing. But we just never give up.
When speaking with sophomore Allie Elson, somewhat of a newcomer to this veteran team, I was curious to find out what her experience has been like surrounded with such a large amount of success.
Definitely eye-opening. It's just different level going from high school to college. They expect so much more out of you, but it was like a good process. I've never met a more driven group of girls. Everybody wants the same end result, and they're all willing to work as hard as they can to get it. we're very well-rounded, and I think that as long as we all keep working to the best we can, then we're going to do great things.
When talking with Coach Van Fleet about how the team and coaching staff plan to prepare for upcoming competition, I discovered a unique aspect that beach volleyball holds.
With beach volleyball, you're playing 5 different pairs from the same school. So the chances that all 5 of those flights play the exact same style of volleyball is very slim. So you can prepare to play a pair, but then at the last minute, they might be in another flight. So we do some film. We focus mostly on making sure that we are ready to show up and compete.
The first time you'll be able to see the ladies compete here on campus will be March 9th as they host the Diggin' Duels at GSU. That is on a Wednesday. The next time they will be in competition here at Georgia State will be March 25th. Come out and support these ladies as they are doing great work. For Primetime Sports, I'm Caleb Johnson.
Great job, Caleb. Thank you so much. Georgia State's men's and women's basketball teams return to the sports arena for a doubleheader versus conference rival Texas State on Thursday. Madison Newby racked up 15 points along with 6 rebounds and 3 assists to lead the Lady Panthers to a much-needed 73-62 win. In the men's game, senior Marcus Kreider scored a career-high 24 points en route to a 59-56 win, and this victory was head coach Ron Hunter's 100th win, making him just the 3rd head coach in GSU basketball history to reach the century mark. Here's what he had to say following the game.
That's fairly quick to be able to do that, and I had no idea that was 100, so thank you for sharing and letting me know that. But I know somehow, some way, my brother from another mother was throwing a shot at me with the 100th win. So.
For more on this game, check out the latest episode of Primetime Sports Talk. Both the men's and women's basketball teams return to action on Saturday as they host UT Arlington. Now, the most consistent presence at GSU basketball games is the Spirit Squad. The cheerleaders and Pantherette dancers can always be seen with a smile on their faces on each end of the court. Primetime Sports reporter Nithin Nair has the inside scoop on what goes into being a member of the Georgia State Spirit Squad.
While most are asleep or just waking up, the Georgia State cheerleading squad and the Pantherette dance team are in here, the sports arena, to practice ushering in school spirit on game day.
5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, grab 1.
Hardly a college is complete without its dedicated pep squads. The Georgia State Pantherettes and the cheerleading team understand their importance and work hard to improve all of our favorite sporting events. The man leading it all, Darryl Lyons. Lyons joined GSU at the beginning of the 2010 and 11 season. The 18-year vet was previously at Clayton State University and says that the whole city vibe was the driving factor for him to join GSU.
I've always thought that Georgia State was one of the top schools to coach at or just be a part of the program because it's such a growing program. Since I've been here, obviously we've started football and all of our sports have really increased in popularity. You know, you're in the heart of Atlanta, so it's really it was a big draw to come to a major school like this.
While both the Pantherettes and the cheer team do not receive scholarships like other student athletes, Janae McPherson says her motivation to perform comes from much simpler things.
The crowd. So at football games, you'll see a little girl or a little boy, and they will die to just touch your hand. And it just makes your heart warm because I remember being in the stands, being that little girl, like, oh, cheerleader, I want to be a cheerleader. So just being able to make everybody else happy. It is just being ambassadors of Georgia State. So when they see us, they see Georgia State. So we have to represent the school the way we should.
One thing that has been cemented into the minds of GSU fans everywhere is R.J. Hunter's three-point shot over Baylor in the NCAA tournament. The same can be said for Nathan Rogers, who had the opportunity to cheer at the game, and he shared some of his emotions when the shot happened.
It was extremely electrifying. Going into the arena, we actually played in the Jaguars arena, so it was huge. There was over like 90,000 people there. When R.J. Hunter actually hit the last shot and beat Baylor, the whole crowd just roared GSU, and I almost like cried, and I lost my breath. I could not even pick up my stunt partner because I was just so overwhelmed with emotions and everything.
One cannot question the passion and excitement these men and women have to perform, and it was evident when Frankie Decker talked about some of her favorite game day moments.
We all run into the hallway and get really excited. We all dance and hype each other up right before game day, trying to get the spirit going, because in order for us to have the crowd motivated, we need to be motivating ourselves. And after we win, we do the fight song again, and then we all line up and do Georgia on My Mind, which is Georgia State sports tradition.
Brianna Donaldson and Lauren McDougal, captains of the Pantherette dance team, talked about all the sacrifices they make in order to pursue their love for the art form.
If you love dance, you're going to sleep, breathe, eat it, drink it, water it down, just all of that. So for me, I just get up early. Of course, I mean, you're tired, but you go to sleep in your practice clothes. You wake up, you have breakfast already in the freezer, and you just warm it up.
And when you know you have things to get ready for a game, like you don't want to be unprepared. So to save that embarrassment or knowing you want to look good on the court and for the fans and everyone here in the arena or at the Georgia Dome, you're going to want to get up early just to make sure you and your team looks the best that they can look.
Just like any team, there will be mishaps, blunders, glitches, but when it all comes together as a unit, you can't help but think it was all worth it. For Primetime Sports, I'm Nithin Nair.
Thank you for being with me. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all the latest Georgia State sports news. Also follow us on Twitter at Prime Sportz with a Z. I'm David Schiele. Have a great week.